One of those areas of dyslexia that maybe you don't quite understand or you've not quite heard of, but you're quite aware of the challenges of slow processing, but you may not be aware of what it's called and any strategies to deal with it. So the best way to understand slow processing with dyslexic people is to see it as an ability to get information in the door. For dyslexic people, sometimes the door is smaller and thinner, and so therefore getting information in can just be a more painful experience. But the crucial part here, which we're going to touch on, is that once the information is in, we can do the same things that other people can. It just takes us a minute to learn everything. So just a couple of real world examples of how this shows up is when you're in the shower the next day and you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense now. Yeah, I've got it. It's just taken you a little bit longer for the information to get in the door. Or what one of my coaching clients said to me the other day is that when she's in a meeting with someone, she's trying to get information from them, they explain everything, and then they say, okay, is that everything you need? And then an hour or two later, she's like, oh, actually, I needed that as well. Shit. Or like, oh, a good question has come to me now, like an hour later. So these are some examples of how slow processing can show up. So if you're feeling like you don't understand something, instead of being like, oh, I don't understand, I'm feeling really overwhelmed, I'm really not sure, maybe try saying, I understand individual pieces, but everything doesn't feel like quite like it's clicked yet. Could we just have a conversation about everything, and maybe getting that big picture will help things click? Because that can really help often, from my experience, is once you get that big picture, all the pieces of information that you have click into place and you feel like you understand the topic so much more. The other thing I want to talk about is the other side, what that looks like, how to feel a little positive about this reality that we live with. So I think, like I said in that explanation, when we're trying to get information through the door, the important point here is that once the information is in, once we understand everything, we have the same ability to like process things, ask questions, see things, create connections as other people, if not more, strongly arguably more because of dyslexic strengths. So that once our brain understands things, there's exciting possibilities. What I often say to people if they're feeling really frustrated is you are worth taking the time to explain things once, twice, maybe in a slightly different way, because when you understand things, there's a really exciting possibility of what you're capable of doing with that information.